So a lot of people are talking about the Australia incident, there's a poop incident, there's a James Corden incident, but I want to talk about the Tokyo incident. And specifically, this was in January 2015, where Johnny and Amber Heard were in Tokyo promoting Mordecai, and his children were there as well. Now I'm going to show you guys really quick of what Amber said happened that day.
All right, January 25, 2015, Tokyo.
Put his knee on my back. It was kind of like kneeling on my back.
I was looking at pictures. I was on the red carpet, checking for bruises and making sure that nothing, like there would be no marks on me. And
so she mentions that she was wearing a backless dress. This is what the dress looked like. The back is exposed, the neck is exposed, the arms are exposed. And yes, we do not see any bruises or swelling anywhere. So why would she tell this story knowing that we're gonna have lots of pictures of her on the red carpet with a backless dress? Well, here's why. She wrote a statement about this incident in the UK trial. And so this incident only had about 3 paragraphs compared to her other statements about other incidents that had multiple paragraphs, and she really went into detail. So let's see what she wrote about it, and let's compare it to what she said on the stand on the US trial.
I don't remember what it said to him, but it said something snotty to him that provoked him, and slammed me up against the hallway wall and curved around and went into the closet. He had me by the hair. He was just wailing on me, but in a really sloppy way. Wrestled me down to the floor. I mean, it felt to me like I didn't even have a fair shot because I wasn't facing him or looking at him. I was walking away from him. I would have tried to defend myself more, but I did. Wrestled me down to the ground and was screaming at me. I mean, like really screaming loud. And put his knee on my back, kind of like kneeling on my back.
She also mentioned that she was crying too, so I gave her a check mark for that. However, she did not mention him slapping her. But let's give her the benefit of the doubt. You know, there's so much going on and she just forgot, I guess. But what we can't ignore is that a lot of details are added that was not in the original witness testimony. So here's what I think happened. I think she messed up when she was on the witness stand in the UK trial. This is what she said when asked about the Tokyo incident.
She said there was an argument in the hotel room in Tokyo that resulted in Johnny kneeling on my back and hitting me in the back of the head.
So I think she forgot that she did not mention that in her original witness statement. And because she mentioned that in the UK testimony for the US trial, she had to mention that as well. And in order for her to explain how that happened, she had to add in a bunch of other details to explain to the jury why she got into that position and why he was kneeling on her back. This is what happens when you lie. You don't get your lie straight. I also want to add that in the UK witness testimony, this one here, and then also in the US trial, she said that she does not remember what they were arguing about. In the UK trial, she said that.
But that argument, actually, well, he toggled it between in relation to, he mentioned more. It was more about Christy, his sister, who handled most of his affairs. He said it was Christy that had brought this up, that Christy's concerns were this, that he did not want that he trusted me, and that he said time and time, and he said to me time and time again, the only way out of this was death.
So why did she blurb all this aside from the fact that she couldn't keep her lie straight? Well, that's because I think the lawyer threw her a curveball question that she did not expect. Dr. Kipper wrote this to Connor Cohen, who I think was either a doctor or a nurse or maybe a therapist that Amber was seeing. Sorry, Con, for getting back too late. I am swamped. Amber and JD have been fighting nonstop since he confirmed his need for a prenup on their way to the airport going to Japan to promote his movie. She tried to push up the date of the wedding to avoid all this, but the reality is he'll need a prenup. If she fails to sign, they won't get married. Both behave like super triple D types. So I don't think she was expecting this. And when she had to answer, she had to think on her feet. She had to come with answers along the way. She messed up because she contradicted what she said in her witness statement.
put my makeup on and went to the premiere with him and checking my phone obsessively for pictures because my dress was backless. Of all times to have a backless dress.
So this is a little bit confusing because she doesn't mention that she got bruises from this altercation, but I guess it's implied since she said that she was checking on her camera to see if there are any pictures from the red carpet where bruises were being shown. But here's the thing though, after this altercation happened, if you're so concerned that there are bruises, wouldn't you check your body in front of a hotel mirror first to make sure if there were any bruisings or anything? Or if there were bruises, she would have talked about the measures that she took in order to cover them up. I mean, she did mention that she put makeup on, so it seems like she might have put makeup on to cover the bruises. But here's the thing, how the hell do you put makeup on your back to cover a bruise in your back? Like, that is such a very awkward way to like reach, you know? And then if she had like a makeup artist do it for her, she would have mentioned that, be like, oh yeah, you know, my makeup artist even saw the bruise and like asked like, oh, what happened to that? A lot of this story just doesn't really make sense. She doesn't tell it very cohesively at all. It sounds like it's a bunch of like chopped up lines that she memorized and then she tried to put it together. And what I do realize also is the time that she actually starts shedding tears during this entire testimony is not during the actual descriptions of the abuse and altercation, but it's about her being worried that people would see bruises, and she was obsessively checking her phone to see if there were any pictures of bruises. I don't know, like a lot of this just doesn't make sense. So I want you guys to all hear from deception experts. This was on Court TV, so definitely watch the full segment. I'm going to link it down below. But I'm just going to give you some tidbits of it just so you get the general idea.
Deception detectors.
So when she's talking about that she was on her back and she's looking up, you would assume that she would motion herself back. Her gestures and her movements are not congruent with her words. So her face gets very flushed when she's talking about, is kind of hyping herself up again, the lack of gesturing on point. And also too, is that she can't seem to remember. I'm not believing this actually occurred.
She said hyping herself up. Oh my goodness, because that's exactly what she kind of does. She'll talk about it, you know, she kind of like hypes herself up and try to like tweak out a little tear. And I think it's funny what the lady says at the end, where she says, it seems like Amber can't remember.
Abandon information, which means she'll start a thought and then not finish it and then begin a second thought. So she catches herself seemingly about to say something and then realizes, oh, I better not say that. I don't want somebody to know that. It doesn't serve my purpose. And abandons that thought and goes to a different one. And she does that on a fairly regular basis. It seems like it's a possibility that she could be maybe coming up with this information spontaneously.
Damn, they are grilling her. It's as if she's like trailing on, then she's like, oh wait, what was I supposed to say again? She's trying so hard to memorize like certain buzzwords, because she'll repeat herself a lot too when she wants a phrase to stand out to the jury. And another thing that she does is that she'll kind of like nitpick on the details. She'll say something like, oh, I took a lot of sleeping pills. Oh, but not a lot, only like 2. Not a lot, you know, I only take 2. I wouldn't take that much. And she's making sure that she's trying to have her story straight and not make any mistakes.
She was diagnosed by one of the experts with borderline personality disorder and also the histrionic personality disorder. So when she's explaining this, the natural tendency is to exaggerate because it's very attention seeking. No, I do not believe that the bottle was pressed up against her pelvic and that he was inserting it or abusing her with it. No, I do not.
So when she said the word we, that's misused. It's not coming from memory. It's coming from some other source of information. In the statement analyst world, that's a fatal flaw.
She's probably sprinkling in a little bit of the truth, and she's also embellishing it, and she's also just making it up as she goes.
Damn. So make sure you watch the whole segment because they do analyze Johnny Depp as well, and they give us their input on what they also think about his testimony as well. And here's another bonus. I'll also link this one below. And again, guys, the trial commences again on Monday, 6 a.m. I'm on Western time. It's gonna be really early. I'm gonna try to stream early. I'm gonna try to be up early and stream it. And so yeah, maybe I'll see you guys there. Bye.
She stuttered through a lot of things. She sounded rehearsed, but she had talking points. She made sure to keep saying eggshells, walking on eggshells, pattern of behavior, having a conversation and telling us her testimony. It seemed like she was trying to remember, they told me to say eggshells.